It's early December and Chicago is suffering through one of its worst stretches of the pandemic. Jack Schuler takes a pause during a phone call to put on a mask for the short walk from his office in the suburb of Lake Forest to his car. Then he launches right back into retelling one of the most pivotal moments in his 3+ decade career in the biotech industry. I was fired by Abbott in August 1989, and then we founded Stericycle and Ventana, he says, recounting the moment he left healthcare giant Abbott Labs and began a series of investments that helped make him a billionaire 32 years later. I concluded that I was going to have more fun dealing with startups than going back to a big company. The president and chief operating officer of Abbott before being pushed out, the 80-year-old Schuler is an investor in at least 10 publicly traded and privately owned biotech companies. His stakes give him a net worth of $1.1 billion, making him one of the 493 newcomers to Forbes' World's Billionaires list this year. His largest holding, Quiddle Corp., was one of the earliest companies to receive FDA approval for COVID-19 tests in March 2020. One of his latest investments, privately held Inspirotech, is developing a device that can detect the presence of the COVID-19 virus in the air. His other bets run the gamut from a firm developing therapies for rare diseases to one that tests blood cultures for antibiotic resistance. The son of a Swiss immigrant to the U.S., Schuler is also a backer of immigration reform. He plans to spend $500 million over the next 10 years, nearly half of his estimated net worth, on an initiative to encourage universities to admit more undocumented students. It might seem an odd position for a politically conservative billionaire, but Schuler is convinced that the system is broken. We have to rewrite our laws, he says. That level of philanthropy is possible thanks to a number of astute investments he's made over the course of his career. Swiss pharma titan Roche acquired medical equipment maker Ventana Medical Systems, which Schuler invested in after leaving Abbott in 1989, in a $3.4 billion deal in 2008 that netted Schuler $290 million pre-tax for his 9% stake. He bought about 10% of Quiddle at roughly $2 to $4 a share 2 decades ago. Those shares now trade at $123 and his 7% stake is worth $390 million. One of his most recent bets, diagnostics firm Biodesix, is up 48% since it went public on the Nasdaq in October. Schuler's 22% stake is worth $108 million. A lot of scientists come to me because they think I know something about this business, he says. I'm back to managing all these tiny companies because of this crazy COVID situation. A Wisconsin native, Schuler got his start at Texas Instruments in France, which he joined after graduating with an MBA from Stanford in 1964. At the time, TI was looking to expand into Europe and Schuler, then 24, spoke some French from summers working in France and Switzerland.